Hey, just wait a second before you write your hate comment. Hey, I said wait! Hello, 'tis I. Let's get straight to the point. Romanticization in artwork isn't really bad. It's really not. Let's talk about it. Now, if you're an artist on the internet and you're in the art community, you've probably heard the word romanticize in the context of disturbing yet cutesy art pieces. But what does romanticization or romanticize really mean? Romanticize. Deal with or describe in an idealized or unrealistic fashion. Make something seem better or more appealing than it really is. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I bringing up romanticism in the first place? What drove me to make this video? Well, there's so much stigma around this word. People think that romanticism and promotion is the same thing when portrayed in artwork, and that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Did you know that by the logic that the people who like to misunderstand this term like to use, people who do not romanticize dark subjects are more mentally unwell than people who do? And I'm sure that's a bit of a stretch, but hear me out. Now keep in mind how I said romanticize, I never said promote. People who promote suicide, self-injury, and homicide are definitely not okay in the head. That's obvious, and I hope we can all agree on that. But what will I put on the table that will completely rethink your view on this topic? Well, let's get this out of the way. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, romanticism and promotion are not the same thing in artwork. Sure, promotion is romanticism, but not all romanticism is promotion. This comes into play a lot. Romanticization or romanticism is making something seem more appealing or attractive than it really is, correct? Yeah, we can all agree on this definition? Cool. Now, let's really pick apart this definition in the context of artworks and explain why this word's negativity should be dropped, at least in the context the art community uses it for. Now, making something more appealing than it is in reality is a very vague definition. So vague that you can easily take away multiple interpretations from it, yet nobody likes to explore the different interpretations. It's always, this pastel gore art is romanticization, which means you're promoting these subjects in real life, which means you're bad, lol. Which is just kinda dumb when you really add nuance and logic into it. Now, romanticism is obviously not a direct reflection of reality. That's kind of the point of the term. It's twisting that reality, in this case through visual art, to make the subject in said artwork seem more appealing and visually pleasing than it would be in objective reality. Want to know one of the most popular ways romanticism in artworks occur? Art style. A cutesy art style is going to make guts, self-harm, and other things a lot more bearable to sit through than a hyper-realistic drawing of the exact same thing. Want to know what also goes into art style? The color palettes that the artists use. Now, for people who aren't familiar with the art community or my art, shall I introduce you to a new art community term? Pastel gore. Pastel gore is a version of gore art where the subject is colorful and unusually gooey, like melting taffy or candy. It's typically more tasteful or appealing to a general audience than normal gore art is. Keep in mind that definition. As you can see, by the definition of romanticism and by the definition of pastel gore is romanticism. They line up. But that begs the question, on its own, is romanticism really a negative and harmful thing? And is it the promotion of dark, disturbing, or harmful subjects? No, have you been listening to this video? No shit, that's the entire point of this fucking video. Now, what people don't like to realize is that whether your art looks semi-realistic or cutesy and cartoony, it is still technically romanticism if it has dark subjects in it. And this doesn't just apply to gore. Mental illness, why'd I have a lisp on that? Mental illness, death, murder, crime, etc. They're also dark subjects. Therefore, if they are portrayed in a style that makes it look more visually appealing than it would be in reality, it is romanticism. Think of it this way. For gore to not be romanticized, and I'm using gore as an example here, but this also applies to all the other dark subjects I mentioned earlier, the artwork featuring these subjects would have to be visually and conceptually look indistinguishable to these subjects as they are in reality. But that begs another question. If we really exist in an online community that shuns the practice of romanticization, who would want to draw anything that isn't sunshine and rainbows? All gore art would look so close to reality that it makes people who would normally be fine with pastel gore or maybe even regular stylized gore art look away in disgust. In the community that these people who twist the term of romanticization apparently want is a community where the only people drawing art with gore, self-harm, suicide, etc. are people who are okay with witnessing that kind of stuff in real life, or maybe even take a sick joy from looking at it. My suggestion at the beginning of the video doesn't seem so crazy now, does it? Now, I want to discuss something, and there's a few reasons why. 1, I watched Ponder Sprocket's video on a subject similar to this, and it made me inspired to go into depth about this. 2, I talked about this a bit in my OG Rat King videos, but they've since been unlisted. Keep in mind, I will be using Shaggy as an example for these flawed arguments. But this in no way reflects Shaggy's opinions as of now. The situation is done with, yet it demonstrates some flawed points that I will be addressing. Seeing as these are arguments many others use, it's just good to have a specific person to use as an example. Now, during this drama, for context, it was a drama revolving my artwork and original characters and why they were harmful. A lot of these arguments being that romanticism is bad. Shaggy used the argument of drawing cutesy gore art makes people uncomfortable, and people have told you to stop drawing these things. And these arguments are complete bullshit. Everyone is different. Something that makes a person uncomfortable may make someone else comfortable. For example, I love pastel gore. It makes me really happy and it can be used as a way of coping with my mental health issues. Though it may make someone else very uncomfortable and sad and may even worsen their mental health. Pastel gore has not and will never be targeted towards people who are uncomfortable with it. And especially since trigger warnings are a thing, it makes it even easier for people who don't like it to just scroll. Then why are people complaining about it? Oh, that's right. People on the internet are so unbelievably entitled that they think that something that they don't like or that makes them uncomfortable does not have the right to exist. Okay then. I think that one gross scene from Salad Fingers episode 3 is gross and I can't watch it without flinching. Does that mean I'm gonna go angrily DM David Firth and tell him to delete it? Hell no. I think that people turning canonically white characters black so they can act more morally superior on Twitter rather than actually doing something productive to help educate people on racism is shitty and lazy as fuck. Does that mean I'm gonna go attack people who do it? No. Jeez, that got a bit too controversial there. Anyways, welcome to the internet, my friend, where you're gonna find harmless opinions and harmless artwork that you don't like or that makes you uncomfortable. Grow up! Art is a tool for expression and for entertainment. You taking away an artist's right to draw what they want is stupid and in some cases even hypocritical. Wanna know when I am for controlling an artist's freedom of expression? When people are making bigoted caricatures or just overall being blatantly hateful towards a minority group with their artwork. Why? Because it's consistently harming an entire community and is done out of hatred. Whether people like to claim it or not, things like that do consistently harm a marginalized group. Oh, and also when people draw things targeted at people who don't want it. You know, like unwanted NSFW art of someone or their character, because it is deliberately targeting a specific individual. It's not like people who don't like it are just gonna accidentally find it. It's being targeted towards a person who doesn't like it. Does me drawing a cutesy character with self-harm scars target a specific person or group of people? No, that's what I fucking thought.